Today, we have a distinguished educationalist and a visionary with over 25 years of leadership experience to share her insights and experience on the empowerment of women in society. She is a key member of the Permanent Advisory Committee of Private Schools under the Ministry of Education and Higher Education, Qatar, and the President of Qatar Chapter of Gulf Sahodaya, shaping the region's educational landscape. Under her leadership, her institution has earned numerous accolades. Award of Excellence for exemplary academic results in grade 10 and 12 CBSE board exams for 14 consecutive years in the region. Certificate of Academic Excellence awarded for 2 consecutive years from the Ministry of Education and Higher Education for its outstanding performance. A prestigious 5-year accreditation from the Ministry of Education, making her institution the first and only Indian school in Qatar to achieve this honor. Excellence in Education Award 2022 for her contributions to the best holistic development of children, awarded by Intelligent Minds Trust in collaboration with the Government of Mauritius. Qatar Stories Jawara Women's Award 2021 for her outstanding contribution to education and society. As a passionate advocate for inclusive education, she has introduced pedagogical innovations and creating a vibrant teaching learning environment. She led training programs in leadership, communication and career guidance. Beyond education, she is deeply committed to charity work, supporting children's welfare, unprivileged communities and women's empowerment. She also enjoys painting and a renowned artist who has showcased her work in many art exhibitions. She doesn't want to talk. Known for her empathy and transformative leadership, she is widely regarded as the people's principal. Let us welcome the current principal of DPS-Modern Indian School, Asna Nafees.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob, for that lovely introduction. The last part of it where he mentioned that I'm an artist. I can't call myself an artist, but I discovered myself during the COVID times. A very good evening to all the members present here. In fact, I think a mic is not required for an educator. Can I put that down? Being an educator, we are very used to throwing our voice. It's a very wonderful feeling to be, remembered by somebody with whom I have been associated, maybe not for a very long time, but then when he thought about women's empowerment and Women's Day, he decided that he should connect with me. He apologized, saying, I know it's busy schedules at work because we have what is called as the board examinations, national boards happening, and as the chief superintendent of the examination center, we have to wake up with sahur and not sleep at all. We have to proceed to get the question papers and conduct an examination. After which we continue to attend regular school and only then come out after finishing the day's work. So on such a wonderful occasion, you thought of me. Thank you so very much, and thanks to the BNI. Well, I'm Mrs. Asna Nafees. As you can see that the little introduction that was done, this was a journey that was taken with a great reluctance. When I was offered a job in the Gulf region, I was very close to the idea and I decided that I will say no to the job. And it was the wisdom of somebody who is much more older than me who said that apply for it, I'm not promising a job, and it is that wisdom that actually helped. He said, you go for the interview, don't like it, don't take it up, but go for the interview. But destiny was written and I landed here 15 years ago. To start with my early life, I remember waking up to see both my parents working very hard. My father would continue to work at his office, at his site as an engineer with the fertilizer company, and my mother toiled with 4 young girls and a brother of ours, the oldest, But what I really wonder is that why are we talking about women empowerment? At least the home where I grew up, I saw my father come back very tired, soiled clothes from the side, but he would definitely start working with Ammi at home. He would help Ammi with kneading the floor, with cleaning up the utensils, and he would ensure that she was taken care of. When you grew up in that sort of a supportive environment where women's education was prioritized, Ammi read extensively to us, Baba read extensively to us, and let me tell you, my knowledge is not confined to textbooks alone. It's because it was parents who instilled the value of reading very young. And thankfully that was one thing that they repeated at home, saying that education empowers. When everything else is lost, what remains with you is education. You may be a refugee, you may be running away from your home, you may lose everything to natural calamities, but your education will remain with you. And I think that's the ethos with which we 4 young girls grew up. We were treated equally at home, and that's another thing that really made us feel, loved, cared, important. Here it is not about talking about whether it's men important or women important. It's about we both genders are being created with certain skills, and those skills to be recognized. And in the process, if men have to support, they have to support. I saw a very loving father, a very supportive father. I was married very young. I was still a graduate. I was not even a graduate. In my second year of graduation, I was 18 and I was married. But the only thing that I requested, and I now reflect on it, that it should have come naturally, I shouldn't even have requested for it, was to continue my education. I continued my education. My father-in-law promised that I would study. My husband stood with that promise. And that's how I continued to study. And thanks to my sons who came later in life, and with them at home, I still continue to do my post-graduation and my degree in education. I started working, and it was more out of a desire to contribute to education. And today, when I stand here, I stand tall because as a woman in an industry or an institution which is intense with women folk, I realize how important it is to have a woman leader. The few little changes that I could have brought into an organization which was already doing well, to take it up the ladder to a place where now we are kind of worried about what next. The benchmarks set are so high for ourselves. Minor changes to HR policies. Women constitute about 95% of the workforce in our school. We have women leaders literally from the base up to the top, and that's something that our past president and the current president always speak about on stage, saying that this is a school run by women. We men are on the sidelines, only required when financial attention is required or guidance is required for something that probably requires money to be moved around. Otherwise, it's women who are dealing with academics. Small changes, and I would love to mention them, is if your workforce is women, consider that they have certain priorities as biological needs of that gender. When our teachers deliver, we ensure that they are given an hour and a half off from work to go feed their babies. This was a policy that got ingrained only after I took up as the leader. We were allowed, the ladies who work with us and who are on sponsorship at the school, staying in our school accommodation, they were given transport to move around so that at least on the weekend they feel loved, cared, and they could do their work. Small changes in timetabling was required for all this. We encouraged these women to bring their children, even if they are very young, and the nurses station took care of them so that they continued to impart knowledge in the classrooms. I do understand that the genders are really very different, but I think the Lord has created all of us with the same sort of feelings, emotions, and if each one of us could exercise the small emotions, it's important that we could support each other. What is required in today's world is that women be given the space to work and not expect the returns to be that she balances home, she balances work. Well, you may be the queen of your workplace, but back home you again have to start off afresh because you're playing the role of a mother, a daughter, and a sister. And these roles require a lot of emotional encouragement and support, and they provide the support system at home. At the workplace, I have realized that no wonder women are intensely employed in teaching profession because women have that extra, I would say, the armor or the extra weapon in the armory, that is the power to love and care. And I think we women, when we come out and we are around in organizations, we bring that empathy into the organization. And I'm sure men would appreciate that such women are required in the workforce. Educating a girl child, so essential. Promoting that she works and works with safety. For safety, especially for women at workplace, it becomes very, very essential that we take care of their safety needs, because the biggest, I think, roadblock to women is how safe are you at work? How safe are you while you are traveling and coming back? And I think, I would say, the state of Qatar keeps that really, really real, and we are very, very safe in the state of Qatar. I have worked in lots of states in India, but I haven't felt this safe anywhere else except in here. So to the BNI chapter, thank you so much for recognizing Women's Day. I think every day is a woman's day. She is the creator, she is the sustainer, and she is the one who brings strength to the world. To all the men who support all the women, hats off to you all. Kudos for your love to women. I really feel God, had I not been touched by all the lovely men in the world, especially the ones in the family, my sons, my husband, my father, my brother, and the extended family. Of course, the role models that I looked up to, the principal of my previous school, who always looked at me as a young 29-year-old and said, "Mark my words, Mrs. Asna, you will be running a school much bigger than this with a bigger strength." And I would just look up to him and say that, "Sir, I don't even have wings to fly. Why are you kicking me out of the nest?" And he'd say, "Unless I don't do that, you will never learn what power you have." Thanks to all the men who have made this possible for us, and thanks to the women for always being loving, caring, and sustaining. This opportunity is a wonderful one. Like you mentioned, yes, our school is doing very well, and I become the longest serving principal of any Indian school, 15 long years of association. Of the employers, that is DPS-Modern Indian School, how they treat their staff, their leadership, that we are able to comfortably stay back and continue to support and promote the cause of education. To each one of you, my humble request is, if you have a kid and he's going to school, do not scrutinize the teacher. She's doing a wonderful job. She's doing a great job of taking care of your ward. Where you are handling just one or two, she's handling 30 into multiples of sections. She is doing, if it is a she is doing a great job. If it is a he, is doing a very great job, because teaching comes naturally to women and a little unnaturally to men, but there's a passion always. So to all of you who have young children, remember we are dealing with a generation which is very different. My only appeal to you is, do not replace your presence with presence, because you are doing major damage to your child's future. Your emotional presence, your physical presence is required for young girls and boys to grow up to be better human beings. Thank you once again. I'm deeply indebted to all of you and wish each one of you a great future. Thank you.